So, early in the morning, 6 a.m. in Yerevan, we get in the car and we head south towards Sunik because we're headed to Meghri. We hit the snow, we hit the ice, we hit the fog. It's an incredibly difficult journey to get here, but we know that Meghri, the place of the eternal sun, is on the other end of it. And we get here and guess what? It's hailing. I have never seen it hail in Meghri before. Anyway, I'm here with David Corsar. He's a Peace Corp volunteer. He's been here about a year in Meghri, and I'd like to ask him a few questions. So, David, how many times in the year that you have been in Meghri has it hailed?
So this would be the first time.
So this is the first time in the entire year that you've been here you've seen it hail. Or rain. Is this the first rain you've seen as well? Now that the sun is coming out. I mean, how often does this weather happen down here?
So I came down here in August, and since then it has rained 3 times. Last night, starting this storm here, was the 3rd time.
Anyway, we're here. The sun is coming out through the rain. We should see a rainbow here somewhere, I assume.
I hope so.
Yeah. You're attached to a women's organization in Meghri. What exactly do they do? What do you do with them?
I work at the Meghri Women's Resource Center, and I help them with a variety of projects that they're working on. Lately, with the elections that were this year and last year, most of their projects were focused on politics. And so I was helping them with project management. And then lately, we've been working on updating their strategic plan.
In that year you've been here, do you feel like Meghri has become your home? What's good about Meghri? What do you enjoy about Meghri?
So when I first got to Meghri, or when I first found out I was coming to Meghri, I was actually concerned about the heat. Most volunteers in Armenia are worried about how cold it gets in the winter, but I knew I was going to the warmest region in Armenia, and as soon as I got here, the first thing I did was find a tailor to cut the sleeves off my shirts because it's so hot down here.
And Meghri is kind of the end of the road. From here you can only get into Iran. And so, yes, there's a lot of Iranian tractor trailers going up and down, Iranian tourists, but what about diasporan Armenians from the US, France, Russia, whatever? What about tourism in general? Are there a lot of tourists here?
So my host family actually lives in a bed and breakfast, and I lived in a bed and breakfast for the first several months that I was here at site. And it was great because I got to meet a lot of European tourists that were coming through. There were not a lot of diasporans, a few Armenians that came from Yerevan just to vacation here in Meghri, but I wouldn't say that there are a lot of tourists.
Are there many bed and breakfasts in the regions, and what is there to see here if you do come here?
I think there's 3 or 4 bed and breakfasts, 1 hotel just out of town, and then 2 hotels in the nearby town of Agarak. That's the town that's actually at the border crossing. Within Meghri, we have a few historic churches from the 17th century, with some really interesting frescoes. We'll have to check that out later. And then there's also 4 fortresses around town that are from the 12th century.
What I've always heard is that Meghri is famous for its old town, its old building, its old architecture. You mentioned churches with frescoes. That sounds very interesting, but I also understand that there is a general old feeling about the place.
Yeah, so the architecture is somewhat unique. There's some Soviet structures for sure, but there's some older houses. They're called public houses. And because Meghri is on the slope, both Metstag is going up this mountain, and then Pokertag is going up another mountain. All of the houses are on a slope, and the roof for one house would be the patio or the courtyard for the house above it. And some of that has been rehabilitated in the Pokertag district.
I remember someone talking about a merchant's house, an old merchant's house that's been remodeled or something. That's supposed to be up towards the Pokertag area. I hope we're able to see things like that. What if we go have a look at those 2 churches with frescoes in them, for example? Because I understand that can be a very interesting thing to look at.
Sure, let's go.